Timing there, girl. Welcome, everyone. So excited to have you guys here. I had somebody who came up to me one day and they said, Joanne, how much does it cost to work with you? And I thought, that is a very actually complicated answer because there's everything from free to paid that people have access to. So today you are going to get to hear what people's thoughts about the free and the paid and all the different ways that you have this opportunity to be able to work with me, what it's really like. I thought let me grab some people who've actually worked with me and get their opinions on this because you could sit there and you could hear from me all day long how great I am, but I don't think that you really want to hear that. You want to hear from other people what has their experience been like. So, I am so excited to share that with you, and we're going to get started. Hello, and I hear little baby noises. I love little baby noises. Oh, and I can hear Lukey. He's the bestest baby and the planet. You guys, I just love being able to get to know the people that are inside of this community and get to know them more than beyond just like the professional side, but really get to know them personally. And so today you are going to get to hear about some experiences of other people that have been inside of the community, how they found out about me, and all those lovely things. Raise your hand if the very first way that you found out with me was from YouTube. So Kelly found me from YouTube. All right, we got one from YouTube. Who found the Facebook group, the Ultimate Support Group? That was their first experience with me. That's Linda. Okay. And then the last one, who came to Impact 4, the free conference that I hold? Yep, that was she's like, I've been to more than one of
No,
those.
I did Impact 3. That was the one I did, but it was
Impact
Impact
3,
that.
yes. Yes, yes, yes. So lots of different opportunities for people to get to experience and see me. But today, let me introduce you to some of the tutors that are here with me. I have Kelly. I was gonna say Kelly. Kelly is here today, or should we see Gidget? Gidget is here today.
Gidget, yeah.
Gidget, Gidget. We found out something interesting. She came to the last conference, and we found out that um, Kelly was not born with the name that she has, and she
No.
wants to be called Gidget, so we're calling her
Yeah.
Gidget. Tell everybody about yourself and your tutoring business, Kelly.
Wow. Okay. So I am a college professor and I came to Joanne through YouTube and clicked on a link and she suddenly started sending me emails. Do you want me to tell you about that process? Are you ready
Sure.
for me? Okay. So,
Yeah.
and then she started sending me emails and quite frankly, they irritated me because I was swamped in work as a writing teacher, just absolutely swamped. And this cheery person was popping into my inbox all the time going, you don't have to do this, blah, blah, blah. This is so wonderful. And you can tutor and you can have your own thing. And I thought, no, 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 no. This is no. And so then I stopped the emails. And when the time was right, which was last fall, I reconnected. And at first it was really funny because I found Joanne again and didn't make the connection that I had already found her and got back on the email list and was receptive of her joy and her voice in my life. And I signed up for the jumpstart in the fall, but that got deferred, which actually worked out pretty good. But yeah, so now I have a tutoring business and I have published my website a couple of days ago with a video,
Yes, you
which
did it.
I'd like to say Joanne inspired me to make the video, but actually she just made me make the video. But I am so joyful that she did, as long as I don't watch it. So but
We should do that later. We should make her watch it. We should totally do
I
that.
think so too.
no,
It was
no,
so good, you
no.
guys.
You can use that for when you're mad at me sometime. Watch your video. So
Why would we be mad
yeah.
at
And so
you?
then I went on the retreat and I came back. I look kind of tan, but honestly, I'm a little sunburned, but that's my normal routine at the beginning of the season. And, I sat at our on our dock last night. I meant to send you guys a picture. I sat on our dock last night with my fabulous other, Scott, and I had my feet in the lake water and I was thinking, this is what it's all about. This is where I'm going to be. And when I went through the pile of mail this morning, I received retirement information and I am signed up. So I need accountability for the August 1st meeting to make a concrete plan and choose a retirement date. And I will retire into working for myself.
We're going to have a party when you do that.
That'd be great. A party.
Big party.
And I had a great experience on the way home from the retreat. I sat next to a gentleman on a plane who had children. Yay. And he asked me what I did. And I said, oh, let me tell you what I did. I said, I support students through high school in their English classes with literature and writing. And then I show them that they have this wonderful voice that they can use to get into the college of their dreams. And then I shut up and smiled. And he ended up with my card, just saying. So I was very excited.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Yay. Oh, I love it. And I love how we all get to know each other so well throughout this entire process. I know in the beginning people are like, oh, this must be some kind of a scam, especially since I put on like my book, like how to start an online tutoring business, making 4 to 5 figures a month. Some people are like, is that possible? It's like, yeah, yes, it's possible. 6 figures a year is possible too, on top of it. So, it can be done. Now, Linda is one of our newest people to just recently find us and join us. Tell everybody about yourself, Linda.
Well, I started my tutoring business in 2015, just part-time, as a way to help work my way through graduate school. I am an artist and a writer, and I had taught writing and I had taught school, grade school, and I taught art and I'd taught at the college level, taught essay writing, different things. But I wanted to study art therapy to kind of put together like all the pieces of me
Yeah.
that I like to help people. But that I'm also, an artist. And so I went to graduate school for that. And when I was writing my thesis, I was geeking out. I love the research. I love the writing because I'm a writer, but everyone else was in pain. They were, a bunch of creatives who suddenly had to do this really high-powered academic writing. And so I started helping people with that. And so after graduate school, I just really decided, I'm really a teacher. And I took my business to full-time, my tutoring business, and I started teaching thesis writers. So I do academic writing, teaching, but a big part of that is hand-holding. It's really coaching people through the freak out, And then I also teach art because I'm an artist. So I have some various students who are learning that from me. I went to Pratt Institute, which is one of the big New York art schools. So I also do portfolio development because I got in. I actually won their national talent search my senior year in high school. So I know how to get someone in. So that really helps when you're doing portfolio development.
Yeah.
With high schoolers. And then I also, but this might be the piece that's closest to my heart. I teach remedial reading. And last year I began working on starting a nonprofit for providing free online one-on-one tutoring for kids who have missed learning, especially due to COVID. The literacy rate crisis in the US is huge. And they're projecting, the World Bank and UNESCO did this study, and they found out that by the time these kids who missed all this learning and whose reading is, delayed, especially due to school closures during COVID, by the time they grow up, the GDP of the world will be down because of that, 17% of the
Mm.
world.
So
It's
you're
like
telling us that we can change the world with what we
we
do.
are changing the world.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy. You know, I have my little boutique things I do, like art therapy thesis writers and art. But the remedial reading it's a huge mission that I have and a huge passion.
Mm.
There's nothing like helping someone level up their reading and suddenly become fluent
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
were struggling before.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. That's awesome. We've got Alexa and Wally who's with us. Alexa's probably been part of my community the longest of everybody. Alexa, tell everybody about yourself.
Hi, I'm Alexa and Wally. I am a reading tutor for elementary students. And yeah, Joanne, when you were asking people how they found you, I was like, oh my gosh, I really got to dig back in my memory banks because I don't even remember. I just remember seeing this video of you and you were just like Kelly was saying, so cheery. And like I turned to my husband, I'm like, do you think this woman's like real? Like something like she's like a little too happy.
That's
I ever
me.
told you
A
that.
little too happy. Yes, I love it. Yes.
I love it though, because that's how like I don't know. I'm like super bubbly and happy and it
Yeah.
fit my personality. And I think you got me into it was for the reading interventionist course because I had
Uh-huh.
just left the classroom with my twins, um, who were like brand new babies, and I had a horrible situation falling out at my school. And anyway, trying to figure out what I wanted to do as being a new mom of twins. And I was like, but I love teaching reading. Like I want to teach reading. And I just gotten my master's in reading and I know what I'm doing, but I can't be in that school system anymore. It drives me crazy. And, then I found you and it worked out so perfectly. And it was the perfect timing because I needed something to make money for my family. And we just bought a house, but ended up being that you taught me the most, more than my master's classes ever did.
I love it. I love it. Well, that was the experience that I went through. Like as I went through the one training that our school had, it was over 5 years, and I got to go to every single training because I was in charge of sending our teachers there. So I got to go to every single one. And as I went to each one of those trainings, I was like, I'm learning more here than I just like spent in all of my schooling. Like going
Yes.
through this, and more people need to know about this information versus what they have you go through when you're getting your master's. Like, this is the real stuff right here. This is the stuff that we need to be able to close that reading gap.
Yeah.
Um, while some of the other stuff was useful, it was, I don't know, it was really hard reading to really
Mhm.
explain concepts that didn't need to be so
Mhm.
complicated. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? And like
I
some of the
totally agree
assignments
with
that
you.
you do were just like busy work assignments. They weren't assignments that you were actually utilizing with real kids at times. And
Exactly.
it was just busy work, and I'm like, "I hate busy work, like, let
Mhm.
me, like, actually do things that are gonna make a difference." I wanna know the strategies I can use to help my kids with the reading, like, I don't wanna sit here,
Yeah.
read all the research. Well, that's helpful and useful, I get it, because we have come far in the whole reading world. I don't need to read about the entire history of that in order to be
Right,
able to
right.
teach my students, right?
Yeah,
I can be
so
grateful for
true.
it, but I don't have to go through all of that. So crazy. But we got
And just like
sharing.
practical tips, like you just gave us like practical tips that were like, oh, like you explained that in a way that actually made sense. And now I can go and I can start my business because
Mhm.
I can use these practical tips in my business.
You know what's so funny that you say that? Because I had asked my daughter's fiance, "Hey, you've gone to school for business. I'm curious if they've taught you this." And he's like, "No." I'm like, "How about this?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "This is the stuff you really need. Like, are
Right.
you kidding me? Like, why would they not teach you about like SEO and search engine optimization
Yeah.
and how to speak to your ideal client and copywriting?" He's like, "Oh no, copywriting was a different course for a whole different group of people." I was like, "What?" Like, I feel like everybody who's in business needs to know about copywriting. Like that is not something that is like you get to skip unless you want to
Right.
hire somebody and pay like big money for it. It's yeah. So yeah, schools haven't changed because he just graduated last year. So unfortunately, they're teaching a whole bunch of stuff that we don't need still there. But we got to learn a lot of the stuff through real life, real world experience. We've got Sharon Canada here as well, and as Sharon mentioned, she joined us for Impact 3. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Sharon.
So I had a falling out with structured education about 3 years ago in the middle of COVID. I was actually looking for a new job in the middle of COVID and finally just said, you know what, forget it. I don't even want to go back to classroom education. Thank you very much. And we had a big move in the middle of COVID. That was fun. And so I'm in a new community and I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to tutor. I'm just going to tutor, not realizing at that point that it's actually a step up from classroom education. So I started tutoring for a tutoring company here in the greater Phoenix area. And after signing the contract, I went, what in the world did I just do to myself? Because I did some tutoring like 25 years ago before I started homeschooling my kids. And I was making $25 an hour. And that contract was giving me 20. And then I also soon found out that they were charging the parents 50. And so I was like, okay, I need to eliminate the middleman. So I worked for them for about 5 or 6 months and then started gradually finding my own clients and gradually letting their clients go. And actually had one client jump from paying me through them to paying me directly. And that client was actually kind of instrumental in getting me to move from the reading bandwagon, which I agree with you ladies so much. The reading piece is so important. And it's a powerful thing, like you said, Linda, to help somebody get up and fluent in that. And I want to know more about your nonprofit because that's something I want to do to give back later. Actually, no, it was Linda with the nonprofit. So we're going to talk later. But I transitioned to math because math is my first love. I am passionate about taking kids that have math anxiety and teaching them that they can actually love math. It can be a lot of fun and they can really enjoy it. And so I primarily use a certain particular curriculum, Bright Start Math, and I primarily market to homeschool people, but I do have a couple of kids that are in school that I meet with in the morning before they go to school. And I love what I do. I love being home. I have a sign here in my office that says this little piggy stayed home. And I love being home. I messaged the other gals in the meeting because I showed up like a split second before Joanne turned us on because I was in the kitchen making banana bread with my granddaughters. I love this lifestyle. I found Joanne via Impact 3. I actually found her via Impact 2, paid for it, figured I'd watch it later and never got around to it. So when Impact 3 showed up, I was like, I'm going to do this. I did it. And then I rolled right into Jumpstart last spring. I think it was March and April that we did Jumpstart, and then rolled straight from Jumpstart into the retreat in last weekend, which was absolutely amazing. And yeah, I just love how Joanne wants to help us avoid those speed bumps, because she's been down this road and she's more than happy to help all of us be successful in our business because what we're doing is so important. The educational system is broken on so many levels, in so many ways. I was working in the private school system and it's even more broken in some ways than the public school system because it doesn't have as much resource. And the educational system is very broken. And if tutors aren't able to step up and make that difference, our country and our world is really headed in a bad direction.
Yeah.
I like what Linda said. We can change the world with what we do.
Can. We all are. We all are. And I think that's what the incredible thing is. And I think we talked about this too at the retreat that like one of my big whys is because teachers weren't getting paid enough. And I thought I can't control what teachers get paid, but I myself can first control what I get paid and then I can help others get paid more. And that's really one of the biggest whys that keeps me going and doing what it is that I do because it really does start with us, right? And we hear that a lot, but we don't really know what that means. But if I make a stand and I say, look, this is how much I'm charging, this is how much I'm worth, and then I can help and I can spread that message to other tutors that you don't have to work for this tiny amount of money, you are worth more. If other people can charge that and then hire your services out, you could be charging that instead because people are already paying that, right? If they're paying $100 for your services with another company, guess what? you could be charging $100 for those services because that's what the parents think that they're getting. They think that they're paying for the services, right? And so they think that you're getting most of the money and you're not getting most of the money. You're just getting like a small percentage of that. So that was really a big thing for me. I thought, hey, if Sylvan can charge $50 an hour and only pay me 15, surely I could start at 40. My brain thinking was not right in the beginning. And you know what? I think we all have that.
60.
Because I'm like, oh, well, let me give them a deal. Like, let me be $10 cheaper than, what they would get over at Sylvan. Like, I was like, no, no. But I'm so glad that you guys have found me and I've had the opportunity to interact with you. I really wanted to be able to kind of chat about like, there are lots of free ways that people can not necessarily work with me one on one, but you can at least get the information to get started, right? And that's why I started the YouTube channel because I was like, look, I know in the beginning we don't have a lot of money. Like I had just left my teaching job. I was making good money in my teaching job, but we were also had three little kids at that time and we were building a pool and it was a nightmare financially for us. We had the house loan, we had now another pool loan, and we had the car loans. And, I'm not sure. We probably even had school loans still. Who knows? I don't know. But it wasn't a comfortable financial situation. I have to tell you today, I am more financially secure and happy than I've ever been in my entire life without all of the extra stress and chaos that was ensued in my life before that. But that is why I started the YouTube channel because I was like, look, if there's other people that are out there like me, I had to start shopping at Aldi in the beginning because I was like, when I found out I could save 50% on my groceries every week, that was huge. I was like,
Yeah.
holy cow, I could go from spending, $200 a week to $100 a week. That's huge. That's $400 in savings that I could be putting into other things for my kids. And that was huge. So that's why I started the YouTube channel. What has your experience been like with the YouTube channel as you guys take in the content that's on there?
I think you can get started with just the YouTube channel alone. I think it's the nuances and some of the challenges that are unknown that is the next step is to work with Joanne, whether it's through Jumpstart or one-on-one. But the YouTube channel is inspiring, informative. Really, I mean, it's a place to get started. Bring to the table the skills that you already have, match them with Joanne's, and go from there. Make it there's over 900 YouTube videos,
Yeah,
Joanne,
can
is
you
that what
believe
you
it?
said? Yeah, don't spend, the rest of your life watching videos. At some point, you've got to make the move. You got to take the step. You've got to publish your website. You've got to make the video. But
Yay, Kelly!
oh my gosh. But you can't, there's no time wasting in it as long as you keep pushing yourself forward. And Joanne talks about in Jumpstart motivation and getting on that motivation train and letting it propel you forward. I was somebody who was super motivated, doing really well. Life happened as it does when we are on these, journeys. And the retreat was a reboot, but I still watch all the videos. I'm still going back and watching. I don't know how many I've watched, but now I know I have to keep a tally. I'm going to have a check off list until I get to 9 something.
We should make it a competition this summer. We should make that a game. How many videos can you watch over the summer?
I still need to
Videos
finish
and
all my
blogging.
Jumpstart stuff. I think that's kind of an important piece to mention. Kelly kind of touched on it, is that the YouTube videos they're awesome. But the piece that might be missing in that front is the accountability piece that you get when you join a Jumpstart class or you go to a retreat or something. You have Joanne sitting there and saying, "So Sharon, what are you doing on your computer right now? What are you working on?" So that accountability, I think I must have sensed that was the piece I needed. I needed to, have a class where I needed to have an assignment done by Friday, and that made a big difference for me. So you kind of have to sort of assess yourself and think about where do you learn best. And so it might that the YouTube videos work quite well for you, but if you need that accountability piece, then jumping into a Jumpstart class would be a really good way to get that. And when I did Jumpstart, I also paid the little bit extra so that I could have a weekly check-in with Joanne, and that way I could pick her brain The first couple of weeks, it's like, what goals should I set for myself for this week? And then, by the last couple of weeks, it was, what did you get done this week? And so it's really nice to have those one-on-ones if you can pay the little bit extra and get that. I think that was a good investment on my part.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because sometimes people are like, well, my situation's a little different. Right. And it's like, well, if
And
your
mine was.
situation's a little different, well, I can work with you with that. Right.
Yeah.
Like we can really set goals for you in your business because not every business is heading in the same direction. So let's take a look at what is it that you want to accomplish and let's start taking a look at a path to get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other piece of it for me was like the community. So like absolutely the accountability. Joanne, I'm in a very awesome place these days, and it would not be possible without Joanne. I mean, just hands down. But I think the other thing that was really tricky for me, given my background, like I said, I was a new mom. I was in my mid-20s with twins at home that we weren't even trying to have join our family quite yet. So I was like, good Lord, I just started my teaching, job. My other friends are in, they're building their careers, and now I'm home with twins. And I didn't really ask for this life, although it's turned out to be my biggest blessing. But it was the community, the people that I've met and honestly have become like my really good friends. And I missed that. I was a lonely mom, like at home, trying to make a career for myself that I didn't really even have much of a chance to start in the first place before the girls came along. So that really was huge and still is huge for me. Like there was a period of time where I left the community. And I was like, what in the world am I doing? I need to get back there like right now. So glad I did.
Yeah, and I think the fact that we're all able to be free to support one another, and I mean, even if you're doing the exact same thing as another tutor that's in another state, you can still support them because there's so many clients out there. We're not going to keep somebody else from succeeding in their business by helping them. I ran a home daycare for about 7 years when my girls were tiny. And that really surprised me when I got into the community of other daycare providers in the area. We really supported each other. I expected to find a bunch of competitors out there, but we were supporting each other. And at one point, one of the gals said, yeah, because I only need 6 clients. So that 7th client needs somebody else. So why wouldn't we help each other? And I think that's the exact same thing we've got going on in our community. And I think it's beautiful because there's no reason we shouldn't support each other and get to know each other so that we can, when I have a kid that's looking for a high school writing teacher, I know who to call.
Yeah, you do.
Exactly.
And the other thing I really like is the business piece. I took early childhood education, knowing that one day I would run a daycare center. And I remember having a conversation with my primary professor in that degree and saying, how come we don't have business courses? And she said, oh, I'm not sure. And I'm like, we're all going to be running daycare centers. We should be learning how to run a business. And to this day, they still don't have that added into the curriculum. God. It's so crazy,
It's like not having copywriting for business, people going into business. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't do that. I learned so much from the other daycare providers, and I'm learning so much from everybody else here, particularly Joanne. Just little things to bump it up a notch. I don't think I ever would have made the transition to hiring other tutors other than my own children that tutor for me without Joanne asking me, hey, do you think you could teach someone else how to do this and have them work for you? And I'm like, yeah. And that all happened like that day. The guy called me, do you really think I can do this tutoring thing? And it was so God's timing, and Joanne was a part of that. And it's amazing. I'm looking forward to having passive income.
Yes, passive income is,
or I should say almost passive income, but because I'll still be investing time and energy, but not nearly the level that I'm due for my own stuff. So
for sure. It's another stream of income that, while it may take some time in the beginning, it will be passive over time because they become, completely self-sufficient over time. They may need you a little bit here and there, but not enough to where you're giving hours and hours and hours.
Right. And actually, that's one piece I want to address is that, when I first started my business, I was envisioning myself, tutoring 8 hours a day, 4 days a week for the next 12, 15, 20 years, however long till I can maybe quit. But I don't know that I will quit. I enjoy it. It gives me purpose. But I really like the fact that I've been able to readjust my schedule, make room for homeschooling my granddaughter next fall, make room for doing some health coaching on the side, make room for adding a teens life purpose class to my schedule. I get to be in charge of my schedule. I get to decide where I want to put my energy. I can diversify my income stream. I'm not tied to just tutoring. And the things that Joanne teaches us apply to those other things I want to do. So in fact, I think this before the retreat, I was talking with a friend of mine who runs a completely different kind of business. I'm like, hey, Joanne, would it work for, Terry to come to your, she's like, yeah, I can teach anybody how to use my tools to help market their business. She focuses her energy on tutoring, but it's the same tools you need for anything.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Any small business that is online can benefit from these
And
resources,
so
these tools.
because of that, we can take what you've taught us and we can apply it. Linda could you have a website about your art, and instead of using Etsy or, there's so many other ways you can apply it in your life.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And then we have so that's YouTube. We also have the free Facebook group, the Ultimate Support Group for Online Tutors, another free resource for people. Because I know in the beginning we all have questions, but it feels really weird to like go online, and this is what I did, and I know some other tutors probably did this too, but like you look online to see who's in your space or who else is an online tutor, and then you reach out to them personally. And I was really lucky back in 2010 that I had a couple of those people reach back out to me and give me some suggestions. But I thought, what if there was like one place we could go to where people could ask these beginning questions and they don't feel like they are bothering anybody with these kinds of questions? Wouldn't that be useful? And that group has grew from 5 to 10 to 20 to 100 to 1,000 to now over 12,000 people inside of that community. Have you guys had the opportunity to hang out inside of the Ultimate Support Group for Online Tutors? What has your experience been like inside of there?
Can I say something about that?
Please do.
And I think I posted about it too in the group, but it's a lot of tutors or people who want to get into tutoring. And so someone posted on there how to, basically they wanted to know how to teach writing. And my first thought was a little snarky, like, this is like a tutors group, like, okay, you come in with the skills, but the responses that person got in the group were totally helpful. People were, answering the question. And so I got schooled a little, and it brought out my kindness. And then I shared a tip, from my teaching of writing. And I feel like it's a little special. It's special to be able to have a group where kindness is, the MO. How do you develop that? And so for me, I feel like, Joanne, that that you have something really special with that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I would definitely agree. Yeah, I would definitely agree. I would say people are always willing to answer the questions and to give any kind of tips or advice that you don't always get in all different groups. Like there's another similar group I follow on Facebook of like moms, and anyway, it reminds me of that. It's like, and the woman that runs it, she says this is like what does she call it? Like the kindest corner of the universe there is. And like Joanne's group absolutely is the same way. And I'm just always blown away by the amount of support that tutors give other tutors within the group. And they're willing to do it. And, I'll see, something pop up. I'm like, oh, I know how to do that. I can help the person and I'll respond. And, I think it brings out like it's exciting. I think when we learn these skills and we're able to help other people because we've built this, we've learned these skills. And I think that there's a component of that too.
That's a really big piece of what attracted me to your stuff too, Joanne, because I think I shared with you this weekend. I've done work with another coach before you, and that was one thing she did not like. She did not like us telling each other what we do in our business. And it was like, really? Okay. I don't understand why not. She actually reached out to me, don't pipe in with answers. I will answer the other students. And it's like, okay, excuse me. Yeah. And so that's part of the reason why I left her community and joined yours, because I could see that you were building a network for us. And that it wasn't just everybody coming to you with our questions. It was, we can all help each other. Duh.
Yeah,
exactly. And
exactly.
It just creates a better environment for growth and learning on all of our parts, because we're all, it's not.
And there's no way that I could answer everybody's questions one-on-one, right? Like, I'm one person, and a lot of my time, I am getting paid for the tutoring that I do. I am getting paid for the coaching that I do. So, people who are seeking that extra help and they want that guidance, I'm there for them. But I can't be sitting there all day long answering every single one of those questions. It's like, that's
She's
why we have that.
Hadn't figured that out yet, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And the song came to my head. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll.
It gives you the strength of all of your people in your community all working together, which is a much better way for it to be than to be silly top-down stuff. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no,
We're
it
all
doesn't make sense at all.
educators. Why shouldn't we all chime in and help one another? We do that at work in a school. We help each other when we work at school. It's the natural thing for us.
Yeah,
well, and those
some
who
do.
are teachers know that the best professional development are the conversations that happen in the hall, right? When they bump into each other. I love the Facebook group because I can search for what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Question. And sometimes I realize I'm not asking the right question, just by the search. But you can go all the way back through those discussions and get great ideas and find unique approaches. And yeah, I've really enjoyed that. And of course, I love that it's safe. I haven't posted on my personal Facebook page in a long time. And Facebook, I felt like it became unsafe in a lot of ways, and that it wasn't bringing me joy. And I'm all about, if it doesn't bring me joy, hire a maid. Right, Joanne?
That's right.
Because cleaning doesn't bring me joy. So that's the one I'm working on. But that I could go through and I could search. So that means the discussion is always alive, always current, where some discussions aren't. So that's what's great about that group.
I would like to have a maid one day, but I just have a house cleaner. That would be great. If I had a maid to take care of all of my needs, like somebody who would like cook for me, clean for me every day, that would be amazing. But yeah, we have a weekly house cleaner. Well, that's my husband. He doesn't get a break. Well, maybe I'll have somebody do shopping where they can buy me foods other than what is just for dinner.
Oh, and they make food for you too. I had a maid when we lived in Thailand, and it was awesome. They cooked yummy Thai food for us for dinner every night.
Oh, that's awesome. Yay. I love it. And then we've got Impact. Impact is a free conference for people to attend. We've got Impact 4 coming on up end of August. We have some great speakers already lined on up to share. Usually day 1 is all about how kids learn and teaching and all that side of things. And then day 2 is usually about how do you get students, how do you market your services, and day 3 is all about how do you scale your business. And I know some of you guys attended some of Impact. What was your experience with that conference?
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was like drinking from a fire hose, but it was amazing. It was motivational, just kind of like, wow, there is so much I need to do. That's part of the reason I signed up for Jumpstart, because it was like, it kind of opens your eyes to the potential of what you have sitting right in front of you, and helps you realize you need some help developing that potential. But yeah, I think inspiring might be a good word to use. Just kind of makes you realize, oh my goodness, wow, I'm like sitting on a treasure trove here. I just need some help
putting it all together. Yeah. For sure. Because people can tell you what to do, but sometimes you need people to show you what to do. Right. And that's the big difference. And with the free content, I do tell a lot of the things that you can do. Whereas with the paid content, I show people exactly how to do it, like how to go about that process. Yeah, for sure. In fact, Impact stands for Inspirational, Motivational, Professional Academic Conference for Tutors.
Girl.
I haven't attended Impact yet, but I feel like it's the inspirational part is in all of your products.
Mhm.
And I just feel like that's been the most transformational thing. And hearing that you start the impact process with that too. It's in everything. It's in Jumpstart.
Mhm.
It's in Insider Secrets. It's through everything. And for me, that's been what has been the most transformational is the visioning process.
Mhm.
Because teachers are helpers. We're all helpers, but we're so used to having low pay. It's like society has somehow instilled in us, that we need to just sit in the corner financially and just be like, oh, well, teachers are always broke. And I have radar for the demographics of kids with the missed learning who need free tutoring, working on that with the nonprofit and paying tutors actually to teach kids for free. Well, the kids will get the tutoring for free, but the tutors will be paid through a grant-based system. So the government will help, Now you have the private tutor who shouldn't be not able to pay their bills, and this goes for every teacher,
Right.
but the thing about it is that we have this concept that society has given us that teachers make a certain amount or that they're in this ghetto, financially, and that's just where you live. And so when you join these Joanne things, the first thing about in each of the programs is visioning. And to me, yeah, I mean, I needed a lot of the components of how to do this and how to do that, digital marketing, SEO, blogging, setting up the business part of it, getting your assessments in order, learning new assessments, all these really high level things you learn in Joanne's programs. But the visioning was what enabled me to up my income
Yeah.
right away. And I've only been here a few months and I've already doubled my earning power.
Girl.
And it has to come from within. You have to give yourself permission to say, you know what, we were in the $30 to $50 range, like all the lessons, like the art lessons, the music lessons, that 40 years ago. My parents paid $35 an hour for my art lessons when I was 17. Okay, I'm 57. Why? How?
Yeah.
Are we still there? And so, as a profession of helpers who are always thinking about the other person, I think
and we can still do that.
Yeah, we do.
At the same time, respecting ourselves and saying, I'm worth this much.
Well,
and
and it's also just that with the community, within the Jumpstart community, we help each other. We lift each other up so that as a community, we can reach out and value ourselves.
Yeah.
And become for the profession,
Yeah, and I'm sitting here thinking about like the teaching profession as a whole. It almost feels like we as tutors could make a pretty impactful change in the teaching industry as a whole. Because if teachers start jumping off and going to tutoring, the schools are going to have to start changing what they're doing, or they're not going to have any teachers to teach with. And so it could be that the groundswell of momentum from what we're doing could impact education systems eventually too.
Yeah.
Well, I
for
envision
sure.
I envision school districts or states offering vouchers, the vouchers they use for charter schools, the vouchers they use for homeschooling and programs and things like that. Why can't they use vouchers for tutors? Then
It's already happening in Arizona. I have
so
three clients that use the voucher system.
Yes, and so each student has a specialist tutor for whatever subject that they're working on, and now the classroom is gone.
Yeah.
as we see it today.
Yep.
And Linda, what you said was so powerful because it's a belief system. We've bought into this idea that it's okay that we don't make a living wage, because we don't. When I cut all my extra courses out and cut all the extras out, it was like, wow, this is what you really make. And that was very eye-opening for me. But it's a belief.
Not a living wage.
No, it's not. And you have to change your scripts. You have to change your belief, because just because you love what you do doesn't mean that people can walk all over you, whether that is the government saying you don't need to make very much,
or your dentist saying, gosh, I wish I got a spring break. And I'm thinking, you can take a vacation whenever you want.
Right.
I only get to take a vacation when I'm told to take a vacation. It's like, the disrespect out there for teachers it runs very thick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, you'll have to pay more for that vacation because everybody is going on vacation at the same time. So the rates double on us in order to take that vacation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that inner visioning process, Joanne, that you built in everything, from and videos, the neat videos you include with people like Alon,
Mm-hmm.
And certain people that you've learned from as well,
mm-hmm.
who who are part of your inner circle. And so then we get access to those people as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an important thing to note. I think maybe people aren't aware, but Joanne has said it a couple times in places I remember saying, but she continues to work with a coach herself.
Always.
It's and I think that's a really important thing. I tell that that's actually in my policy sheet. Part of what you can expect from me as an educator is that I am going to continue to be in the student seat somewhere in my life. I'm going to learn how to knit. I'm going to learn to play piano. I'm going to learn more about multi-sensory math. I'm going to learn more about using ChatGPT. I'm going to stay in that learner role too, because that helps me be a better teacher.
Yeah.
But I think that Joanne being purposeful about staying in that role it trickles down to the rest of us.
I have a question about access to you, Joanne.
Yes.
Because I know this YouTube is about the different ways that we can access you. So I've only been in the program a few months and already transformation is happening. And I recently I was looking back through emails and there was an email, you can schedule a one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
So can you talk a little about that and how that works? Because I hadn't been as familiar with that.
Yeah, that and that was actually a big piece of why I was like, oh, I need to let people know all the ways that they can work with me, right? Like, yes, I have all this free stuff. Yes, I have, a lot of people know about Jumpstart and that they can get in on Jumpstart even if they're not a new tutor. But there's also the one-on-one coaching that I do. So I do have it where if people are like, hey, look, I just need 30 minutes of your time. I just need to pick your brain, or I just need an hour of your time. Get me on track right here with this. I can do that, and you can set up those individual times. It's on the Work with Joanne page. You go to onlinetutorcoach.com/work-with/Joanne, and you'll see a link inside of the description of this video as well. But then I also have monthly coaching, and I've been working with Alexa monthly each month to do the coaching and the ongoing accountability. So each week, Alexa and I, we get together in the morning on Wednesday morning, 7:55 a.m. my time, 8:55 her time, and we are working on her goals and guiding her. And just recently we were working on she wants to be able to get to the homeschool community, so I ended up finding a homeschool conference, and I was like, Alexa, like she was the first person that like came to my mind. I'm like, Alexa, here's this, sign up, see if they're still accepting speakers. Not only were they still accepting speakers, they accepted Alexa, and then Alexa put all of the resources and materials together, and she's like, okay, Joanne, I know you told me I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to do this. Can you look it over for me? Do I have everything? Am I missing any pieces? And we're able to take a look at it and see, are there any holes or gaps? But we meet every single week, just the two of us, to get her business exactly where it needs to be going. And
you probably see me like my eyes like watering over here, because I've been trying to get to homeschool students for so long, and Joanne is like, I don't have words right now. Just so kind and so thoughtful. You've been my motivator. You've literally taken me from like oh, I didn't know I was going to get emotional. Like a really low point in my life to like an amazing spot. And now, like, giving me this, I've been working on this all week, been working so hard. And like, it's because of you that like I'm going to be able to come in front of like these ideal people so that I can spend more time with my kids at night and not have to work every afternoon and evening. Really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is working, I thought I remembered you saying something this weekend, the Insider Secret Club, that having a one-on-one with you is a part of that. Did I remember
So,
that?
so inside of the Insider Secrets Club, we meet weekly, but not everybody shows on up. Like, we only have like, I don't know. Sometimes it's one person who shows up. Sometimes it's two people that show up. Sometimes it's three people who show on up. Like, it literally kind of becomes like a one-on-one with me in a way at only $75 a month. It's like and you get all the courses and you get the networking and you get like all these extra things. So yeah, there's I know Glinda's been a part of that. She's like, wait, I'm the only one here. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like open office hours and I'm here to support you. And she's like, I mean, I could get all of my questions answered like right now. I'm like, yeah, bring them. Let's do it. You want me to show you something? I can show you how to do it. You have a question? I'm not holding anything back. I'm not like, oh no, you need to buy this in order to get that information. It literally is like you have a question. I'm there for you.
Yeah, and when that happened a few times with us, like I was the only one who showed up in the network call and I totally scammed like free one-on-one time with Joanne. I can't even tell you how much that raised my learning and how fast. And the reason, okay, so there have been other groups where that's happened to me in a group where I was the only one who showed up and the presenter still went through their
Presentation.
PowerPoint. They literally read to me their PowerPoint. Okay, it's just the two of us, right? And this person has all this knowledge and stuff, and they don't even know me. Well, when we found ourselves alone in the what was supposed to be a group call, Joanne was like, "What do you want to talk about?" And it's such a qualitative difference because I had my specific questions and then we dove into those. So it was value. It was like incredible value for me. But that's why I asked how to access you one-on-one outside of that, because I know that was a gift from the universe to me and I wasn't supposed to have it. But working with you one-on-one was like the bomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I want to get into all that.
Yay. I love it. I love it. Yeah. And that's the beauty of the insiders that a lot of people like don't realize is that we do have all of these. There's so much value inside of that community that you have access to me, you have access to, you know, content is the biggest area that we struggle with when it comes to our business and marketing. And so we've got elements to support you in that. We've got a blogging coach, we have an Instagram coach, we have a video coach to help guide
Tech
you through
coach.
all of those processes to really guide you through that. And then there's the monthly course so that we keep staying on top of everything. Like this month is gamification and really how do I gamify my marketing, make it more fun? How do I gamify my teaching, make it more fun, right? Like all of these ongoing learning opportunities all in one package at an affordable price, which a lot of people might look at it and be like, "Oh my gosh, no, I can't afford that."
You
You
can't
can't
afford
afford
not to.
Yes,
Then
for
they
sure.
haven't looked.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm sorry.
Because the programs that are out there which offer all like the full serve programs like yours are like your program is a steal.
Yeah.
You said
Like
$75 a month, right?
Yeah.
You have your rates set where they should be. That's less than an hour's worth of work.
Mhm.
Why would you not tap into that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. And it's ongoing. We meet every week. I mean, if you want to meet, you can meet. If you don't want to meet, you have things going on. It's not like you have to meet. There's always the resources you can tap into in between your sessions or the Facebook group that we have or all of those other things too. So it's a great way to be able to connect and get to know other people inside of the community and build those relationships who these are all potential people who can refer you for your services. This is gold. gold, gold, gold. And then we have, of course, we have the Tutors Breakthrough Experience,
I
which
was
is
just gonna say, don't
the
forget that.
conference. We can't forget that. Kelly and Sharon just came back from the Tutors Breakthrough Experience, and we met in Cape Coral. One of my dreams has been to own a convertible when I live in Florida because I'm going to be a snowbird. So I rented a convertible. We got to like wind in our hair, don't
It took
care.
me till yesterday to get all the rats out.
We were so cool, though. We were so cool
so
going to
cool.
the airport with a great big suitcase in the
In the
back.
back seat.
See all these
That
fun
was me.
experiences that we get to have. It's
And
absolutely
just
amazing.
the bonding and the relaxation was a big piece for me too, that we were able to bond that and to meld that together. Not only was it relaxing and rejuvenating, but it was also empowering, and I got so much done,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And
Because you get to take away all those other responsibilities. We have so many
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
Distraction.
things assigned
everybody
to
else
us.
doesn't know this about me, but I have a tendency. We have a multi-generational household, so I have my 2 granddaughters that live here, and 3 of my own children, and my husband's interesting soul, and I have a busy life, and I sometimes will disappear to my RV for a Sunday just to get something done, and so it was like so much better than the RV to be in Florida with Joanne and Kelly, and and the convertible.
So much fun. I know,
It was a
right?
great time. And Sharon has discovered she's now tutoring baking.
No, I'm not. But my house smells so good right now.
Right? Yeah, she made
Sharon's
some incredible
biscuits, yeah.
biscuits. Oh my gosh,
Yep.
those biscuits were amazing.
Oh, yes, that's true. I am tutoring baking.
Yes, you
Saturday
are.
morning. What did I tell you, Kelly? 8?
You said 8, so that's 6 for me. And so I want you to know I really liked those biscuits.
No, it's the other direction, honey. It goes the other way. It'll be 10 for you.
Other way. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
good. I can sleep
yes.
in. See,
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
sleep in.
Exactly.
But she
See,
would
it's
have
fine.
she would have
What?
woken up early for you. She would have woken up early for you if the time zones
ready.
worked that way.
But
I was
no,
ready.
Saturday morning I'll be teaching a biscuit making class. If you want to join, message me.
All of a sudden, you'll have 15 people who are coming to join you for your.
They're worth it. They're good.
Need to
They're
charge for
good.
that.
They're good. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, we had to go to Publix because Sharon missed Publix and she
I
needed a
used to
reason
live
to
in the
get to
South,
Publix.
and I used to shop at Publix. One of my kids used to work at Publix, and I was like, "Oh, there's Publix." Publix started in Florida. Of course, there's Publix in Florida, but it was like I have to go to Publix. So,
But it was
we went to
also
Publix.
great to be a part of rejuvenating that community after the hurricane, because we still saw huge remnants of the hurricane. I mean, it's only been really a few months if you think about it, right? And but we got to walk on the beach, saw a tuba player on the beach. That was a first for
That
me.
was funny.
Spent a lot of time on beaches. But it was great. I sort of had this feeling like this was the perfect place and the perfect timing for something like this, because we got to invest back into the regrowth of the Fort Myers and Cape Coral area. And I think that's important. I think we felt like we were helping in some way, right?
Well, an extra bonus for me, I got to meet somebody who I know personally. I've never met in real life, and she came over and spent what was it, Sunday morning? She ate breakfast with us. So that's why I made biscuits.
And there were lessons learned, such as the highest score in golf is not the best score.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. The highest score was the best score. I do remember somebody getting on the lead.
Person who said she wouldn't even get on the leaderboard and blew everybody else out of the water.
Yeah, right.
The highest score on the leaderboard.
I may have done well at golfing.
Just maybe.
I may have.
It
was mini golf.
I should know. Yeah, I was just going to say, we should know this was not real golf. This was mini golf, but it wasn't typical mini golf with windmills and volcanoes. It was. It looked like a real golf course, but it looked like miniature.
That's right.
That was all you needed, the putter. It was fun.
Yeah,
that's where I got my sunburn. I didn't get sunburned from anything else but that golf game because I didn't put sunscreen on.
That's all good. Thank you guys so much for coming today and sharing your
Thank
experiences. I
you.
think it's so helpful for people to know, hey, this isn't a scam. Like, I really
No,
am
it's
serving
not.
out of my heart. I'm serving based off of, I found where the gaps are when I was getting started and where were the holes for me and how can I be that person to help fill some of those holes for people and guide them to success quicker. That is my ammo. That is what gets me up inside of the morning. That's what keeps me, doing what it is that I do. And if you do happen to watch the YouTube's free, please feel free to watch the ads too, because that's how I continue to be able to make those videos. So thank you guys so much for supporting me. And if you are looking for additional ways to work with me, check down below. You'll see some links, and we look forward to continuing to support you. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.